Welcome back to the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester as we get ready for the second of our two games between the Manchester Revolution and Northern Ireland Academy. Kaz Bullock here with Ishanaya on the Focus Hoops YouTube channel. And we've already had one game so far today. So for Northern Ireland travelling over here to Manchester, the teams have agreed to play both the home and away legs today. So a back-to-back for both teams. The first game, we saw Northern Ireland come out on top 65-64 in a come-from-behind win and just putting on display some exceptional defence, Isha.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great game to watch. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. But yeah, Northern Ireland, I mean, they were down literally as soon as the refs scored. They didn't take that lead up until third quarter, but as soon as they came out, what was really noticeable is the intense defense that they were playing. They really ramped it up right before that first half, and I mean, defense wins games at the end of the day. But Henley Kavanagh, got to give him a shout out. 30 points in that game. 32, apologies. Responsible for that's half of the refs' points, isn't it?
It is, it was.
So yeah, crazy performance from him. The only thing is now, obviously, these teams have played each other. They'll know the weaknesses, they'll know their strengths. Also, the tiredness might be coming in. Obviously, playing a whole game, a whole 40 minutes. Some of these guys and girls played 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's certainly going to be a factor. So as the teams out on court, Manchester playing in black and Northern Ireland in green, and it will be Atkinson and Kavanagh for the tip, and the first possession goes to the Revolution, and it is Doherty going to set things up here. Cal Doherty had 12 points in the first game today as Kavanagh thought about the shot but ran in tomorrow. Ball's intercepted by Matt Ralston, and someone that had a huge impact in the first game was Ralston as he powers his way to the basket, and an offensive foul is called. But Matt Ralston just looks like he's going to pick up where he left off.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him in the first game. Unfortunately, we don't have stats for this, but the amount of steals, the amount of tips that led to steals, the amount of rebounds he had in that previous game, I mean, his impact was completely unmatched. He's literally everywhere. You blink and he's in a different position.
He was officially our pesky defender of the game.
Yeah, he really was.
So Manchester looking to get on the scoreboard here as Woof can't get it to go. Northern Ireland back down the floor. Ralston to Morrow. Morrow connects. And Katie Morrow getting Northern Ireland onto the scoreboard.
Yeah, I mean, she had the hot hand in the previous game. She was hitting them shots. She had a fair number of points as well.
18 in the first game.
Yeah, she's also picking up just where she left off.
As Doherty looks to answer and does. So it's 2-2 here in the first quarter.
I mean, that's another thing that we can also take into consideration. As they have played a full game, they've properly warmed up. I mean, obviously, you get a warm-up before games anyway, but sometimes you just need to be in the game to kind of settle in and get that rhythm. Both these teams have had that, 40 minutes of it, so might see a lot of scores here.
As Atkinson sinks it for Northern Ireland. And right on cue, Isha, we are seeing lots of scores.
Commentators blessing.
So a 4-2 lead for Northern Ireland here over Manchester. Dawson to Kavanagh. Kavanagh looking for some space, using the screen from Woof, banks it in. And Henley Kavanagh out representing Great Britain in Brazil at the under-23 men's World Championships last summer. Picking up a bronze medal with the team. And he's a really exciting young player that's come through this Revolution team, and a lot of basketball in his future.
Yeah, definitely.
Four all here in the first as Kavanagh can't get it to go. Ralston up against Kavanagh. Finds Atkinson going to the basket. And again, it's just Matt Ralston, just the court vision that he has, the way he gets the ball into his teammates' hands is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, as you said before as well, these guys, this team, they've been playing with each other. They've played basically all their games this season. So just having that in-game experience with your teammates, that is really invaluable. I mean, you get used to each other's tendencies, you get used to playing with each other. They've shown so many times that this is a team that are on the same page.
And for anyone that wasn't watching the first game, so Northern Ireland having played 11 games so far, including that one earlier today. Manchester playing in their first game of the season. As good hands on defence there from Kavanagh. Morrow lines it up. It's short as Doherty comes up with the rebound for Manchester. Northern Ireland will take it from the end line. Ralston to McCabe, fading away, can't get the bounce. And another chance, but Kavanagh can't keep hold of the rebound as it goes out of bounds. And it'll be a fresh 14 here for Northern Ireland.
Yeah, I mean, that was a tough rebound for McCabe to get over Henley Kavanagh. Don't get many rebounds when you're around him.
Atkinson into McCabe. McCabe fading away. Manchester back down the floor. Little back to Dawson. Dawson swings it over to Doherty. Has Morrow on him. 5 seconds on the clock. Doherty trying to break free. 2 seconds, needs to put something up, and will at the buzzer. And Cal Doherty ties the game at 6. McCabe against Woof. High arcing shot. And McCabe had those 22 points in the first game. Had a season high against the Jaguars with 27 a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, if that first game told us anything, it was that he's a scorer.
Dawson at the foul line. Doesn't get it to fall, but that's the look that Gary Dawson wants, and the Revolution want to get him that. As Ralston dishes over to McCabe on the baseline. Tough shot. And that gives Northern Ireland a 4-point lead. Doherty to Kavanagh. Wolf cutting inside, banks it in, and leads down to 2.
Yeah, nice little pass and cut there.
James Ruth was the second leading scorer for the Revolution last season in Division 2. And McCabe grabs the offensive rebound, can't finish at the rim, as the ball just very slowly rolls out of bounds. And it will be Northern Ireland possession. They have a 2-point lead. Dawson puts it up from the elbow, won't go. Ralston with another rebound. Oh, we should have been counting, Isha. We should have been counting Matt Ralston's rebounds.
Yeah, we should have. Oh, well. Next time, next time.
As Doherty has to back the ball out. Long 2, in and out. And Northern Ireland back down the court, led by Morrow. Morrow backs the ball out. Oh, what a pass over to Atkinson on the baseline. Doesn't go.
That's going on the almost highlight reel.
Katie Morrow with a behind the head pass as she picks up the interception at the other end, and a foul will be called against Manchester. So that'll be the first tee. Oh, no, that's an offensive foul against Morrow and Northern Ireland. It'll be Morrow's first. Manchester possession here from the sideline. Ball's into Dawson. Doherty will get it back. Kavanagh back to Dawson, 6 seconds on the clock. Doherty from the foul line, not that time, gets his own rebound though. We'll get another chance here. As Kavanagh inside, ball goes out of bounds. And Northern Ireland have really kept up that pressure on defence. Ralston goes all the way, scoops it up and in.
Yeah, I mean, he's so quick. He's just able to get there, but the defense even sets up.
And it's those gaps that he finds, he's just able to weave himself through his defenders. Uses that speed.
There's that strong pressure again from Northern Ireland, just forcing that turnover.
And as we mentioned before, Isha, as we have a timeout called, that's really it's a really tough ask for Northern Ireland to have played as hard as they have defensively in the first game and then keep it up for another 40 minutes now. But as you've spoken about, they are a team that I used to play in these back-to-back double headers, so perhaps that is something that they're going to find easier than other teams might normally.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when you've been doing it for how many games they've been doing it, double headers, definitely, I mean, you will get used to it. We spoke before, the Revs, the previous game was actually their first game of the season. So it's only their second game of the season. In theory, they won't really have that in-game fitness yet, so they might struggle because you can't really replicate the kind of setting and the feeling of a game that you can in practice. But we might see them rotate their bench a little bit more. I mean, we've got Andrew Ladle on this game. Did we see him touch the... I don't think we saw him touch the floor in the previous game.
He wasn't out on the first game.
Yeah, so them rotating is definitely something we might see a lot more of, just so they can give their players a break, basically. And they might have also sat some players out for that first game so they can save them, sort of rest them for the second game.
Yeah, absolutely. So teams coming back out onto the floor. It's a 4-point Northern Ireland lead. So Manchester Revolution's next game will be against the Lothian Phoenix next Saturday. And then they'll be playing the Whirlwinds here at the National Basketball Performance Centre at 11 a.m. That'll be before the Premier Division team play Reading. So you come down, support the teams, watch another doubleheader, and get your fix of basketball. So Ralston over to Morrow. Back to Ralston, has space. McCabe will take it from the elbow, doesn't drop. Kavanagh finds Dawson for Manchester. Woof, 8 seconds on the clock. Looking to make some space. Woof from the baseline, won't go, but Little's there for the rebound. Can't finish, and Ralston back, racing down the floor for Northern Ireland. He's going to take it to the basket, leaves it short though, and it's picked up by Kavanagh.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him do that many times in the game before, just racing down the court. First one there.
Ralston going 1-on-4. We'll have to wait for the team to catch up as McCabe's there inside. And Kavanagh takes another rebound for Manchester. Doherty to Kavanagh. Shots off the rim and picked up by Morrow. Katie Morrow, the two-time Paralympian for Great Britain. Hands off to McCabe. And that's a great connection there between those two for Northern Ireland.
Yeah, it is. As I said before, they've played a lot of basketball together. Just two teammates that are clearly on the same page.
Kavanagh runs into traffic. Dawson has space at the free throw line, trying to get free. As Doherty puts it up, it's off the rim. And Manchester get another chance here. Woof, ball's knocked away by Ralston as it'll go out of bounds, but those are the plays that he's been making, just those, they don't show up on the stat sheet, but just make that difference. Take some time off the clock, force your opponent to reset.
Yeah, I mean, we call it the beat. We say Fever should come up with another column for the kind of almost steals or the almost
The tipped
Almost
ball and the
interceptions.
knocked out away.
Yeah, exactly, because just then, we've seen it, Revs, they had to reset their offense and it just led to a defensive stop. So,
And Morrow all alone to the basket at the buzzer, lays in two for Northern Ireland, and they have a 16-8 lead after the first quarter. Nathan McCabe with 6 points, Ross Atkinson and Katie Morrow with 4 points each. And leading the way for Manchester is Cal Doherty with 4 points. And a little bit of a different first quarter there than we saw in the earlier game for the Revolution Isha. So in the first game, Manchester had a 16-14 lead over Northern Ireland. We saw them come out really hot scoring as well, really strong inside presence as well from Henley Kavanagh. And we've talked about that Northern Ireland are certainly going to try and they're going to want to stop him scoring as difficult a task as that is.
yeah, I mean, they've kind of really swapped around the kind of initial starts. I mean, one thing that was really noticeable about that first quarter in the previous game was the amount of rebounds, offensive rebounds, especially that Northern Ireland were getting. That the Revs done a really good job to stop that, because I don't think they might have got the odd one or two, but nowhere near as many as they had in that first quarter. But now the Revs, they're rebounding much better as a unit. I mean, they're getting a lot of rebounds offensively and defensively, so real credit to them. But yeah, as you say, Henley Kavanagh, only 2 points, which, yeah, for him it is only 2, because previous game he got 32 in the end. Northern Ireland was really struggling to slow him down, but clearly what they spoke about in that break between the games has worked, because they've managed to restrict him to only 2. And he probably had about like 8 or 10, I think.
Around that, yeah, I'd say at the end of the first. So teams back out for the second quarter. And ball's in Northern Ireland possession. Duffy doesn't go. Oldham with the rebound. Doherty pushing the pace down the floor for Manchester. He swings it over to Oldham. Woof round to Doherty. Doherty long two, sinks it. It's a big shot for Doherty and Manchester.
Yeah, just beating the buzzer, but what a way to open that second quarter. Hopefully that can kind of set the tone for the rest of the quarter and just get the Revs scoring up a little bit.
As we'll see Luke Marshall into the game for the first time for Northern Ireland. As Kavanagh saves the ball, but it's into the hands of McCabe, who gets it over to Ralston. And what a start there from Marshall. Straight off the bench, straight into the game and onto the scoreboard.
Yeah, talk about instant impact.
Luke Marshall had 10 points against the Whirlwinds earlier this season. Gets his first points of the game here in the second quarter and gives Northern Ireland an 8-point lead. As we've just got a stop on the floor. As ball's in, Doherty has it. Thought about the shot. 4 seconds on the clock. Kavanagh against Duffy. Kavanagh with time running down. That's short. And Morrow with a quarterback pass over to Nathan McCabe, who lays in an easy 2 for Northern Ireland. And will have a timeout called as Northern Ireland take a 10-point lead here in the second quarter. And again, it's that connection between Morrow and McCabe. Morrow knows McCabe's going to be racing down the floor, and then 2's in.
Yeah, I mean, great little connection between them. But we just seen then, I mean, the Revs on offense, Northern Ireland did a really good job. They've seen that. We saw that defensive pressure in the previous game, and they've kept up again, just forcing that miss. Then good defense leads to good offense. So.
And it's so interesting how many players that you talk to will say that as well. If you get a defensive stop or you put their effort in on defense, the offense, they say, just comes very naturally.
Definitely, because I mean, easiest way to score in basketball really, obviously, is a layup, but off a fast break, and just then that good defensive stop. We saw that nice quarterback pass as he described it. Then they were able to score at the other. Then they were able to score at the other end. So yeah.
I'm just admiring your shoes, Isha. You've got very nice shoes.
Oh, thank you. I literally bought them
No one can
yesterday
see-
as well.
they're really good colours. No one can see them, but they're very nice colours. So teams coming back out onto the floor. It's a 10-point lead for Northern Ireland. So Manchester possession as they look to try and cut into this 10-point lead. Kavanagh dishes the ball over to Doherty, and a great finish there from Doherty. That was such a good pass. It looked like Kavanagh was just surrounded by defenders and somehow was able to pass out of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the defense that you have to play on Henley Kavanagh, though. Otherwise, he's going to sink that in the bottom of the net.
A tough one not to drop there for Ralston. As Doherty leads the way for Manchester. Takes it to the basket, spins off the rim. Morrow to McCabe. McCabe swings it over to Duffy, and blocked by Jennings. So Manchester looking to get it over the halfway line here. We'll need to be quick about it, and that'll be an 8-second violation. So Northern Ireland will get the ball back.
Yeah, I mean, there's that tough defensive pressure that we've been talking about basically all game, all last game. They're just, the intensity that they play at, and they just don't let it drop off. So it's going to lead to things like 8-second violations, 24-second violations.
Morrow with 6 seconds. Duffy underneath the hoop, gets the bounce. And Ronan Duffy will get his first points of the game. Northern Ireland stretching the lead out to 10 here. Oldham to Doherty. Doherty shots up and in. And Doherty now into double figures, 10 points for Cal Doherty. And had 12 in the game earlier today, so nearly surpassed that already. As McCabe answers for Northern Ireland.
Yeah, I mean, what a shot. That was deep. But yeah, Northern Ireland, I mean, they're just trying to extend that lead. The Revs are just hanging on, but I mean, both teams are scoring at a really high rate at the moment.
10-point Northern Ireland lead. Kavanagh. Kavanagh on the baseline, hits. Manchester looking to chip into this lead. As Northern Ireland back down the floor. Ralston. Morrow spinning. Runs into Kavanagh, back to Ralston. And McCabe shot short. But Northern Ireland pressuring the ball there as Manchester look to get it over the halfway line. And that'll be a foul called against Northern Ireland, so Manchester possession. And that's a bit lucky for Manchester as they were looking the time running down there in the backcourt.
Yeah, they were, but I mean, when you play intense defense like that, you are going to pick up the odd fouls. They did a really good job in the previous game, considering the intensity that they were playing at, to not pick up that many.
Kavanagh to Doherty. Doherty's had the hot hand so far. That one doesn't fall, but ball's out of bounds. Last touch, Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland currently 4 wins and 7 losses after their earlier win today. And they're playing in their last 2 games of the season today as the ball's knocked out of bounds. So Manchester playing in just their 2nd game, and Northern Ireland in their 12th game of the season.
Yeah, opposite ends of the spectrum.
Doherty to Kavanagh. Kavanagh with a long 2 at the buzzer. And again, time winding down. Manchester forced to take a difficult shot there. As the ball will go from the sideline. Matt Ralston, having previously played in EuroLeague for Bordeaux, and played for the Asinara Waves in the Champions Cup in 2023. A very experienced player, and he's just been showing how experienced he is out there on the floor. As McCabe under pressure from Doherty. McCabe finds some space. Shot's too strong. Doherty against Ralston. Woof back to Doherty. Jennings has Kavanagh. Kavanagh able to save the ball. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Kavanagh to Woof. Woof puts it up. Won't go, but falls into the hands of Doherty, who finishes. And Cal Doherty, he's making that look so casual. He's like, yeah, I'm going to catch this ball and just pop in.
Literally, yeah. Good rebound as well.
So Doherty up to 12 points now. And it's a 6-point game. Morrow into Duffy inside, uses the glass. And Ronan Duffy with 4 points now. Just over 3.5 minutes to play. 8-point Northern Ireland lead. Doherty. Jennings can't get the roll. And it's Ralston again, another big rebound for Northern Ireland. Gonna take it all the way, it's short. Manchester down 8 here. Kavanagh. 7 seconds. Kavanagh lines it up, knocks it down. McCabe on the baseline. Good pressure there from James Woof. The shot doesn't go. Manchester down 6. Ball's intercepted by McCabe. And a foul on the floor will give Manchester the ball back. And that's the 3rd foul on McCabe. So that's something that Northern Ireland are going to need to watch out for.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, another experienced player. I mean, he's played in the Commonwealth Games, so he has a wealth of experience. So hopefully he knows, I mean, he'll have the IQ, he has the experience to be able to know how to learn to play with them fouls so he can stay in the game and help his team.
And that's it's something that comes with experience, isn't it, as well? You might see some younger players that they'll say, you know, that they learn how to do that from more experienced players on the team, because it's just something you've got to go through to know how you can play. Yeah,
definitely, because I mean, it's not something you can just learn in practice, really. It's just one of them things where you just have to have playing experience and learn whilst you're in the game.
Manchester looking to get into this 6-point lead. Oldham to Jennings. Jennings fading away, doesn't go. As Ralston finds Morrow inside. And it will be Manchester possession. Little to Doherty. Doherty with 12 points so far for Manchester. Runs into Duffy. Passes over to Kavanagh. Kavanagh under pressure from McCabe. Finds a path to the basket and puts in 2. That's a really great decision there from Kavanagh as well. Had McCabe on him, but able to find a path to the basket.
Yeah, just reading the floor and reading what the defense is doing.
Morrow drops it inside to Ralston. Ralston on the baseline, no good. Final minute of the first half. Woof over to Doherty. Manchester looking to make it a single possession game as Kavanagh inside banks into. And Kavanagh getting in rhythm here now in the second quarter. He's up to 10 points and the lead's down to 2.
Yeah, the Revs have done a really good job at kind of bringing the game back into only a couple of possession winning the points, yeah.
Morrow has to back the ball out. 4 seconds. Shots blocked by Kavanagh. And it will go out of bounds, so 0.7 on the clock here, on the shot clock here for Northern Ireland. So it has to be a catch and shoot.
Or catch and tap, really.
Got to get something off very quickly. McCabe to Morrow, and time will run down. And there'll be 6.2 seconds in the quarter, so Manchester have a chance to tie or take the lead here. But first we'll have a timeout as head coach Dan Johnson wants to talk it over. So he's going to draw something up here for Manchester. Down 2 and an opportunity here to tie or even potentially take the lead.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it'll make a good position for the Revs if they were, either tying or obviously in a 1-point lead going into that second half. They've done a good job in this second quarter here to kind of chip away at that lead and bring it back within a 1-possession game. It's a good position to be in. I mean, still 20 minutes to play after this. That's plenty of time to kind of either chip away at a lead or kind of establish a lead. So it'll be interesting to see what he's going to draw up here.
So leading the way, leading all scorers is Cal Doherty with 12 points for Manchester. And for Northern Ireland, it's Nathan McCabe with 10 points. And teams, as you said, these are kind of almost on track as to what they were doing in the first game. Northern Ireland at half-time were at 28 in the earlier game today. It was a 36-28 lead for Manchester at half-time last time.
Yeah, so the Revs just kind of struggling to score a bit more in this game, but I mean their not main score, but Henley Kavanagh, he did take a minute to kind of get off the mark. I mean, it's crazy to say only on 10 points, but for him it is only.
So ball's in and Manchester using the clock here as they'll let it roll over the halfway line. It's picked up by Woof. And Doherty won't get something off at the buzzer here. So at half-time, it's a 26-24 lead for Northern Ireland Academy over the Manchester Revolution. And Northern Ireland have been incredibly consistent there, carrying over what they've taken from the first game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they've kind of just carried on, from the previous game. Got themselves in a good position. I mean, 2 points up going into the second half. That's not too bad. I mean, considering last game going into halftime, they were 2 points down. Obviously, they did have a
They were 8.
Oh, apologies.
It was a 36-28 lead at halftime for Manchester last time.
So, yeah, obviously they were down in the previous game at halftime. Now they're up. That's a good position for them. But obviously they did have a wider lead before. So going into this second half now, they'll want to kind of extend that lead. And look to kind of suppress Manchester's scoring, which they have done a good job already this game.
Yeah, and it's difficult, isn't it? Because teams normally you will play a game and then you'll have weeks, days to look at the tape, adjust to them. But these teams have just had about 20 minutes or so to kind of figure out how to adapt in the second game. So that's quite a tough position.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we're in for an exciting second half. So
definitely. So we're going to take a quick break for half time, but we'll be back with you in around 8 minutes' time. Welcome back in to the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester as we get ready for the second half between the Manchester Revolution and Northern Ireland Academy. Northern Ireland with a 2-point lead as we head into the third quarter, 26-24 over Manchester. This is the second game of a double-header that teams are playing today. They played earlier at 11 o'clock this morning, and it was a 65-64 win for Northern Ireland in that one. So it will be Manchester possession. As we get things started here in the third quarter, as Kavanagh tips the ball back to Doherty, and Doherty has loads of space there from the foul line. Doesn't get it to fall. As Ralston looks to set things up here for Northern Ireland. Atkinson's shot is short. Manchester back down the floor. A chance to tie or take the lead. And Jennings doesn't get to go, but an answer there for Manchester, who tie the game at 26. And foul on the floor. That'll be the first against Manchester. Fouls against Doherty. And that's Manchester's first foul of the game, Isha.
That's mad, that.
And we'll see Ross Atkinson head to the bench as Luke Marshall back out onto the floor for Northern Ireland. Morrow on the baseline. Long two's good. Puts Northern Ireland up 2. Katie Morrow up to 6 points here in the third quarter. Jennings. To Woof. Woof's shot rolls out. Morrow rolls in for the rebound. Swings it to Agnew inside, and who's there? Ralston cutting to the basket. Matt Ralston has just been absolutely fantastic through a full game and 3 quarters here today. Played it the entire 40 minutes in the first game, and he's not been off here in the second as Doherty can't answer for the Revolution. Ralston to Agnew, and Agnew leaves it short. Manchester back down the court. Pass is too strong. And Northern Ireland will get it back here as we have Ross Atkinson back out into the game. Luke Marshall will go to the bench.
Yeah, we spoke about in the previous game that about getting tired. I mean, there's a lot of basketball to be played if you're playing for like 40 plus minutes, really. So we've seen them rotate a lot more this game.
The shot doesn't go. Kavanagh over to Jennings. Woof against Morrow. English has space, goes to the basket, high off the glass and in. And Kaylee English getting her first points of the game. English coming off a silver medal campaign at the European Championships with Great Britain, as Morrow shot won't go. Kaylee English playing for the Loughborough Lightning last season in the Women's Premier League. Also playing Premier Division for the Revolution and in Division 2 last season. So a lot of these players will play across different age groups, different teams, and they'll be playing a lot of basketball.
Yeah, they will. I mean, but the more basketball, the better, really, because as you spoke about before, that the more you play is just the better you get, and because it's invaluable experience. I mean, you can only do so much in training, but when you're in an actual game, that in-game experience is so invaluable. So the more games you play, the better.
As James Roof ties the game at 30 here in the third quarter. Ralston. Ralston swings it over to Morrow. Comes up against English, but Morrow on the baseline nets it. Jennings takes it over the halfway line for Manchester. English pressured by Ralston, but Jennings is there. Doherty, 6 seconds, and Doherty splashes into, and we're back tied at 32. Morrow, two's up and in. And Katie Morrow now up to 10 points personal. It's a 2-point Northern Ireland lead. English to Woof. And pass will go into the backcourt. So that'll be a backcourt violation. And it will give Northern Ireland the ball. Ralston over to Agnew. Agnew finds McCabe. 2 seconds on the clock. As James Roof will pick up the loose ball for Manchester. 2-point Northern Ireland lead. Doherty. Doherty leading all scorers so far with 16 points for the Revolution. Back playing with the Revolution this season. As a foul on the floor. And that's the 4th foul on Nathan McCabe there for Northern Ireland. So that's a big call, because one more will put McCabe out of the game, and he's been so important for Northern Ireland.
Yeah, I mean, 10 points already in this game. We saw in the previous game that he contributed a lot to the scoring. I mean, he had 22 points, yeah, so that is a big chunk of that.
As Doherty gets the roll, and we're tied again at 34, just back and forth here in the third quarter. McCabe finds a path to the basket, it's too strong. Kavanagh back down the floor. Manchester with a chance to take the lead here. And pass is intercepted by Morrow. Morrow doing a fantastic job there on defense. As McCabe finds Ralston under the basket, too much on it. And a jump ball is called. As Ralston and Doherty fighting for possession. And possession arrow is with Northern Ireland. So we'll take the ball from the sideline, and Matt Ralston, representing Northern Ireland at the Commonwealth Games in 2022 in Birmingham, alongside Nathan McCabe. He had his fingerprints all over the first game, and has been doing exactly the same here in the second. That's a great rebound there from Atkinson, tips it to Ralston, and right on cue puts 2 in the basket. Two-point Northern Ireland lead. Doherty against Ralston. Kavanagh on the baseline. We're back tied at 36, and Kavanagh now has 8 Kavanagh has 12 points here in the third quarter. Jack Agnew at the foul line has space. As Doherty takes the rebound, and Woof will get it over the halfway line. Kavanagh drops it inside to English, and English, it's short. Northern Ireland's.
That was a great cut from English there.
A really good look. And that's what she does really well, as Ralston continues to score for Northern Ireland. Puts them back up 2, and he's up to 8.
Yeah, I mean, Ralston, he's just been dominant all this game, all the previous game. He's really just done, he's just everywhere, all over the court, really. Gets it done on both ends of the floor.
Absolutely. As Doherty looks to answer for Manchester, and does! We're back tied at 38. Doherty now up to 20 points, leading all scorers. Atkinson, round to Agnew. Morrow, Ralston, oh, great ball movement here from Northern Ireland. Can't finish at the rim, but they're passing the ball round, taking their time, and just getting everybody involved.
Yeah, I mean, we've said this as well a few times, but they've played a lot of games with each other already, so they've had that time to kind of get used to each other, get used to where their teammates might like to court, where they might like to receive it, and you can really tell when they're playing.
Kavanagh using the screen from Woof. Resets. Puts it up, too strong. And Northern Ireland back down the floor. Chance to go on top here. Ralston setting things up for Northern Ireland. 6 seconds on the clock. Morrow spinning. Morrow drops it inside to Atkinson. Atkinson working under the basket. It's taken away by Woof. Doherty into Woof, can't keep it inside.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good looks that the Revs have got inside. I mean, from both sides really, but just unable to finish there, just fumbled the ball a little bit, but great cut there, great offense. Unlucky they can't get it to go.
So it's a tied game here in the third quarter, 38 all. Morrow. Double team comes and ball goes out of bounds, but it will be possession for Manchester. So shot clock is off here in the third. Foul goes against Marshall and Northern Ireland. That will be their third, so Manchester will take it from the sideline. We have 17.9 seconds left. Doherty to Kavanagh. Kavanagh using the screen from Woof. 8 seconds. Lines it up. Off the rim, Ralston has it, 2 seconds. Gonna launch it from the halfway line, and Ralston, oh, that was close. Haven't we seen him do that twice now?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. I bet in training, Matt Ralston is just the half court heave winner.
Defo, 100%.
So at the end of the third quarter, 38 all between the teams, and the scoring slowed down slightly there for both teams involved. But Cal Doherty leading the way for Manchester, 20 points so far. And Northern Ireland really spreading the scoring around here. So Katie Morrow on 10, Nathan McCabe on 10, and Matt Ralston adding in 8 points, along with, how many rebounds should we give him? Let's give him 10 more rebounds.
Yeah,
he can have had 2 double-doubles. We have no live stats, but Matt Ralston, if anybody wants to count his rebounds, he's had a boatload of rebounds and been really impactful. And again, we talked about him a lot in the first game, but he makes such an impact on the floor.
It really does. I mean, both ends of the floor. Literally defensively, he'll be the first person back on a fast break or in transition. He'll get them steals, he'll get them tips that might lead to steals, and then as soon as they get them steals, he is the first one there on offense. He's there for all the rebounds, and he's just got really good court vision as well, moving that ball around. But the Revs, they've done a good job to kind of go into that fourth quarter at a tied game. Every bucket counts is in this fourth quarter now. It's kind of just like back to the first quarter, really, because they've got the same score, but it'll be an interesting game.
Definitely. So Manchester Revolution, it is their second game of the season today. Playing their opening game, 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago? And Northern Ireland, this will be their last game of the season. They're currently sitting at 4-7 after that win earlier today. That 1 point win against Manchester, 65-64. So 10 more minutes to play. And it is Northern Ireland ball to start things off. Agnew having represented Northern Ireland at the Celtic Cup last year. McCabe, long pass over to Morrow, but Kavanagh takes it out of the air. And the ball goes out of bounds, so Northern Ireland will get it back. Agnew tomorrow. Agnew inside, too strong, tips the rebound, but Manchester come up with it. Jennings needs to get it over the halfway line here for Manchester. Won't do it in time, and that'll be an 8-second violation. Yeah,
and there's that pressure that we've been speaking about all previous game, all this game. Northern Ireland, they're just able to pressure the ball so well. And they forced a fair number of them 8-second violations. We've seen 24-second violations. They're just a team that's on the same page defensively and offensively.
So ball's in. Morrow to McCabe. McCabe playing on those 4 fouls for Northern Ireland. And a 3-second call goes against Northern Ireland. So Manchester with a chance to go ahead here. Dawson. As Dawson returning for the Manchester Revolution this season, as Jennings is fouled underneath the basket. Foul was before the shot. So it will be end line ball, and that's the first foul against Northern Ireland this quarter. Foul goes against Atkinson, his first.
Yeah, the fouls could become a really important factor in the context of this game, considering it's still a tied game right now.
As Ralston takes the ball down the floor. And Northern Ireland have a chance to go on ahead as Ralston can't get the shot to go. Doherty powering down the court, runs into Ralston. Kavanagh thought about the shot, gets it to Doherty. Great pass inside, and Jennings will finish underneath the hoop. Gives Manchester a 2-point lead. Ralston. McCabe over to Atkinson. Atkinson drops it inside to Agnew, leaves it short. There's a good cut to the basket, and McCabe takes the ball at the other end. Ralston tomorrow under the hoop. Not that time. And Manchester holding the 2-point lead here in the fourth as Doherty out on the break all the way, gets the roll. And Cal Doherty up to 22 points now in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, making the points when they really matter, just extending that lead.
Morrow. Ralston keeps the ball alive, doesn't get the reverse. Manchester up 4 here, but Morrow comes up with the steal, and Atkinson able to chase the ball down. Ralston's there, too much on it. And a bit of a frantic possession there, but both teams playing really hard. As what a pass over to Woof underneath the basket. Doesn't get it to go, and will stop as Henley Kavanagh. I'm not sure how he made that pass.
I know, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, almost like pinpoint perfect as well, straight into his teammate's hands.
As he was falling out of bounds.
Yeah, amazing play, putting his body on the line for the team.
Absolutely. So sideline ball, Ralston will take it. Ralston having represented Ireland on the international stage since 2015. And can't get it to go. Manchester a chance to increase this 4-point lead. Kavanagh. Kavanagh on the baseline, has space, sinks it.
Yeah, tough shot that. Just adding on to that Manchester lead.
It's a 6-point lead for Manchester. Ralston, long pass over to Morrow. Morrow has space. Shot doesn't go. As Kavanagh will lead the charge for Manchester. Kavanagh on the baseline, banks into. And a timeout is called. As Manchester have an 8-point lead here in the fourth quarter, 46-38. And Northern Ireland yet to get on the scoreboard this quarter, Isha.
Yeah, I mean, the Revs are just like turned it up basically, just the intensity of everything. I mean, they're getting scores at the opposite end, but defensively they have been able to get a lot of stops. It's not like they've just not been putting on any pressure the whole game. Obviously, they have been pressuring and trying to force Ireland to miss their shots, but now it's kind of like they've vamped it up just a little bit. I mean, they're doing it when it counts. 5 minutes, 50 seconds to go. They've got an 8-point lead. I mean, it is a semi-comfortable lead. Obviously, it would be great if they could extend it, but it's better than it only being a 1 or 2 possession game. So
it gives you that bit of a boost, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And also, Manchester lost the first game by 1. It has only been, it's not been that long, so not too long to have to kind of make that comeback. But they'll be able to have seen what maybe didn't work so well, or the areas that they wanted to improve on, and they've been able to adjust to that in this game, like an hour or so later. Yeah,
I mean, it looked initially that not that they didn't adjust well, but kind of Northern Ireland kind of did that adjusting better, because they came out, they took the lead, they kind of dictated the start of the game. But obviously the Revs done a really good job to turn that around and kind of take the lead on now. So they're in the stronger position. And now for them, it's just about maintaining that lead, maybe trying to have longer possessions in opposed to shorter ones, because even though it is 5 minutes, the time does count in this game now, so especially for Northern Ireland.
So using the shot, if you're Manchester, using the clock, like winding it down.
Yeah, I mean, look at Northern Ireland here now, rolling the ball in just to kind of add on those extra couple, or prevent those extra couple of seconds from getting off the clock.
And plays like that really matter, don't they?
They really do, especially when you add them all up, they end up being, it might only seem like small number of seconds, but yeah, when you add them up, it is a lot.
So Manchester possession, Doherty. So Woof underneath the basket, runs into Atkinson. Foul is called against Northern Ireland, so that'll be Atkinson's second. And that'll be the second team foul. So James Woof is going to go to the line here for Manchester. And a chance to increase this lead. We've had 10 points earlier today in the first game against Northern Ireland. Doesn't get the first to go. Second spins out. Morrow with the rebound. Northern Ireland looking to cut into this lead. Down 8 here in the fourth as we approach the halfway mark of the fourth quarter. Ralston back to Morrow. Morrow fading away under pressure. It's a good stop there from Manchester. Gary Dawson putting on the pressure. There's a foul on the floor against Manchester. That's their first. So Northern Ireland get the ball back. So it'll be sideline possession. Ralston into McCabe. Duffy. Ralston over to McCabe. McCabe using the screen from Atkinson. Shot short. Chased down by Kavanagh. As Jennings looks for some help. Woof's there. To Doherty. Doherty gets it to go. And Cal Doherty up to 24 points here. Gives Manchester a 10-point lead. Biggest lead of the game so far for Manchester. Atkinson. Passes to McCabe inside, will go out of bounds. And Manchester been able to get the stops here late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they are, and this is where it really counts. I mean, every possession matters at this point, especially for Northern Ireland. The Revs have done a good job at extending that lead to 10 points. That 10, when it gets to double digits, it just does feel a little bit more kind of like out of reach. I mean, 12 now, so Northern Ireland really need to get a score now on this next possession.
And Northern Ireland yet to get on the scoreboard here in the fourth quarter. As Morrow runs into Doherty. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Morrow working on the baseline, trying to find a path to the basket. Shot doesn't go. And Kavanagh over to Woof, trying to chase the ball down. He will get there in time. And then Jennings puts it in for 2 more for Manchester. And they've really stretched out the lead here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, credit to their defense because they really stepped up in this quarter. They've not even let Northern score yet. So really goes to show how tough that defense has been.
As McCabe 3 doesn't drop. Chased down by Ralston. Oh, what a save as Duffy can't finish, but Matt Ralston again just hustling on every single possession. As he is yet again. But a foul called on the floor. And that will go against Ralston, so that's his 3rd. So it will be Manchester possession. So ball's into Doherty. Doherty leading all scorers with 24 points. Finds Woof inside, and a jump ball is called. As McCabe and Woof going for possession. And referee's just talking it over. So originally the jump ball was called, but an offensive foul called against Manchester. After discussion. So this will give Northern Ireland chance here.
Yeah, and they really need to get the mark off the mark on this one because the Revs have just been able to extend that lead to 14 now. If they don't get a score on this possession, then it's going to start to feel a little bit unrealistic.
Ralston to McCabe in the corner. McCabe back to Ralston. Atkinson, long two, doesn't fall. And Doherty with the rebound. As we see Kirsty Beggs into the game for the first time for Northern Ireland. Kavanagh will take it all the way. It's short and ball goes out of bounds, so Northern Ireland possession here.
Yeah, he doesn't miss many of them. But what we have seen as well, so obviously the Revs have stepped their defense, but they've been able to score a lot of the times off that defense. So as I said before, good defense leads to good offense, and they've been able to convert, and that's been the real deciding factor in this game.
And that's the thing, isn't it? It's important if you're able to get those stops, then to be able to capitalise on them at the other end.
Yeah, because otherwise you're just getting the stops and you're not scoring, and the score's just going to stay the same. So
because you can be a great defensive team, but you've got to score.
Yeah, you have to, because there's no point in getting the stop if you're not going to score, because at the end of the day, the objective of basketball is to score the most points. So
we're all learning something. So a big thank you to everybody watching live on the Focus Hoops YouTube channel. You can catch all the Manchester Revolution Premier Division games and double headers with the Division 1 team at home here at the National Basketball Performance Centre. Come on down, come and support the teams. Come and see these players in action up close on the court. As Manchester have a 14-point lead here in the fourth quarter, and we will see Becca Pearson into the game for the first time for Manchester. Playing in her first season for the Revolution, a player that was previously with the Lancaster Bulldogs. Played for the Mohawks in the Women's Premier League last season, where she had a 6-rebound game against the Loughborough Lightning. So certainly a player to watch going forward this season is Pearson. As we're back underway, just under 2 minutes to play. McCabe against Woof. Atkinson, two's in, and that will get Northern Ireland on the scoreboard here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, good for them to get off the mark, but maybe just a little bit too late if they want that comeback.
Doherty drops it inside to Woof, who gets the roll.
Yeah, the Revs have just been on a roll this quarter with the scoring. I mean, they've not really missed, as we said before. They've capitalised off all their stops, or most of their stops, should I say. And that's really what's given them this nice lead of 14 points.
As Kavanagh back down the court. Mary McCabe also into the game for Northern Ireland. As Kavanagh keeps the ball alive for Manchester. 7 seconds, Woof under the basket, pressured, doesn't matter. And James Woof just continuing to score for Manchester. Puts them up 16 here. Atkinson. McCabe. McCabe passes inside to Beggs, doesn't get it to go. And Woof racing down the court. Saves the ball, but it will go out of bounds. And it will be Northern Ireland possession. Atkinson, back to Marshall. Over to Atkinson. Pressured by Pearson, great defense there from Pearson. As McCabe drops it inside. Ball will be out of bounds. It will be Manchester possession. So a 7-second difference between the shot and game clock here in the fourth quarter. Doherty.
Yeah, I mean, the Revs can afford to just kind of use the rest of the clock here as much as they can.
Doherty's shot is too strong, and Northern Ireland can have the last shot of the game here with 10 seconds as Marshall saves it, finds Atkinson. Atkinson, what a shot underneath the basket. And with time running down here, Manchester will dribble it out and they will take the win in their second game today, 56-42 over Northern Ireland. Manchester were led by Cal Doherty with 24 points. Henley Kavanagh adding in 16 and then 8 points from James Woof. And for Northern Ireland, Nathan McCabe and Katie Morrow, 10 points each and 8 points from Matt Ralston and Ross Atkinson. So quite the turnaround there for Manchester in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, going into that fourth, obviously they were both they were drawn on 38, I believe.
Yeah.
If we take a look at a previous game, when we went into the fourth quarter, they weren't able to kind of get the lead and keep it. So definitely learned from that first game, and they were just able to capitalize off all the defensive stops, really. I mean, their intensity, they really stepped it up. Every time they got a stop, well, the majority of the time they got a stop, they were able to find a score at the other end, and that's what kind of took them and gave them that comfortable lead. So all credit to them.
And Manchester, their first two games of the season, a close loss by 1 point in the first game, and a strong win here in the second. That's really going to set them up for their games next weekend.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, sad for them that they couldn't get that first win, but a really good game, really close. A lot of good things to take from it. Nice for them to get the win the second time, and also by a larger margin than it was in the game before. So, yeah, hopefully the rest of the season looks good for them.
And for Northern Ireland Academy, so that was their last game of the season because they've been playing double headers with teams, so a bit further ahead in their season than the rest of Division 1. But they will finish as with 4 wins and 8 losses so far this season. But they've showed like how strong they are defensively, and they're going to be a really tough team to come up against when it comes to playoff time.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the defensive intensity, it really didn't drop throughout the game. It was as soon as they came out, as soon as the ball was tipped, they were literally up in the faces of the Rebs. Really, really high intensity, really aggressive, and really it only went up from there. At no point did it drop down. So really good to see from them. They were able to capitalise from a lot of them stops in that first game. Second game, not so much, but that's also because the Rebs kind of stepped their defence up.
So Manchester go again next Saturday against Lothian Phoenix, and then on Sunday the 30th of November they'll be playing the Whirlwinds here at the National Basketball Performance Centre at 11 o'clock before the Premier Division team take on the Reading Rockets at 1 o'clock. So you can come down, support the teams, can watch another double header. And for the Northern Ireland Academy, players will be playing a lot of basketball as well, playing for other teams as well in the season. We have the Northern Ireland Academy women's team that Kirsty Beggs plays in, along with some of the other players out there on the floor. So still a lot more basketball to come from them. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, it's not the end of the road. Obviously, they've played all their in-season games, but there's so much more basketball that goes on. So a lot to look forward to.
There certainly is. So the final score from here in Manchester, the Manchester Revolution 56, Northern Ireland Academy 42. To everybody that's watched live on the Focus Hoops YouTube channel, from myself, Kaz Bullock, and from me, Shania, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.